Hello, people. I see a lot of people are joining in. Amanda, Amy, Vaughn, Megan, Patrick, Rosary. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing great. Stephen, Surfraz. Hello, Stephen. Let's wait for a few more minutes before we can start with our demonstration and along with that, a presentation as well. So I'll just mute myself for a couple of more minutes and then we can get started. Hi, Megan. All right, guys, let's get started. And what we'll be doing is today we will be covering up two important topics and everything in between as well in brief. So we will be looking into topical authority as well as how to achieve that EEAT and impress Google. So these are the two main topics that we will be covering today. Along with that, we will also take into consideration everything that comes in between these two main topics, as we move on with our demonstration. So let's get started here. And so the topic, as you can see, it's topical authority plus EEAT. And let's go to our next slide. So we will be covering up all these important topics under topical authority, that is structure breakdown and expansion, analysis of current ranking data, topical authority projects and keyword research, and then managing the inventory. Same goes with EEAT, like tone of writing, drafts and prompts. Generate EEAT aligned suggestions, originality analysis, show off your expertise, experience, and trustworthiness. So these are all the topics that we will be covering today in our session. And let's start with the first one here, that is structure breakdown and expansion under topical authority. So here you go. So before we start with how to create our own topical authority, how to understand the opportunity of keywords that you can start creating content on or optimize your existing content and rank better. So for that, we need to understand certain things here. First of all, let's take into consideration your website. And it could be any website, whether you're offering services or let's say you're offering products or you are a niche website or any sort of website that you have and you would like to build the entire topical authority on based of your website. The first thing that you need to do is you need to understand like what are your core offering areas that you provide with your website, with your business. So list down all those core offering areas, area one, area two, area three, or area four. And that's how you start with the first step. Now, we will be taking into consideration one of our registered user for this webinar's website as an example, live example. So you all can get an idea what we are doing, how we are doing things. So we are taking into consideration mylittleeater.com, which is also one of the user who has registered for this webinar. I'm not sure he's present here or not, but we will be taking into consideration this case study and moving forward. So let's say, for example, this is the website, and what are you offering? Like, what are your core areas? So if you look into it a little deeper, you will see that it's all about learning courses for toddlers, babies, whether it's snack guide or whether it's feeding course or a meal plan or let's say counseling for dietitian. Now, how you will break down your offerings here with this website. So let's say, for example, the options that you see here that we can add to our breakdown scenario is the first would be, let's say, feeding toddlers. Second core area would be, let's say, meal plans for toddlers as well as for babies. Third could be feeding babies, like, 6 month old small babies. And also, we are giving counseling services. So, let's say, dietitian. So, this would be the four main core offering areas that we can take into consideration when we are talking about this website. So these are the four main areas that you have to look into much deeper and look into all the opportunities one by one for all the core area that you have listed down. Now, first thing first, let's say for example, we take one core area, and that is feeding toddlers. Now, feeding toddlers could be divided into sub-core areas as well, right? Like what could be the sub-core areas here for feeding toddlers? So the subcore area, if you define for feeding toddler, could be feeding schedule. It can be spoon feeding, feeding fruits or feeding liquids. This could be all sub areas that you can add to your main core area, and that is feeding toddler. So let's say this is feeding toddler here. And these are the subcore areas that you defined as feeding schedule, feeding fruits, feeding fluids, or let's say spoon feeding to baby. So these are your sub areas that you need to focus little bit more in detail to understand like wherein one sub area can hold a lot of keywords, which are potential keywords and also semantically related with each other. So as you can understand from the graph, you are dividing your website into main core areas. Then you are taking one core area at a time, and then you are dividing that core area into different sub areas. And one sub area at a time, you are picking it up, and then you are finding the right opportunity of keywords, the topical authority that you can gain out of all those many keywords that come under that one sub area. So this is something that you can do and organize your entire content strategy and come up with topical authority areas and create silos and start creating content over it. So let's move forward. And what we will be doing with this demonstration is that we will be literally covering up the entire process. And so let's get started. First thing first, let's go back. So this is the website we are taking into consideration right now. And first thing first, let me change the slide here. And now we're on the second slide. And as you can see, add domain. So now we will be analyzing your current ranking data. So first thing first, what you need to do is you need to enter your domain. You need to add your domain. And you can add your domain from here. Just click here, click on add new domain, and enter your sitemap, provide the location, and click on add new domain. This is going to add your domain right away. And here is the domain that we are talking about, mylittleeater.com. And once it will take maybe a few minutes, or if you have a lot of links, it might take 15-20 minutes as well to load all the pages from your website. So as you can see, there are around 371 pages on the website, and these are all the pages that you can see here, right? And there are a lot of pages down as well. Now you need to understand and take an analysis of this data and find out those pages that you need to optimize it moving forward. That is one thing, and how you will do that. So the first thing that you need to count is, let's go back to our presentation. Let's say we added the domain. Now, first thing first, I would also like to tell you is this is the third-party source that is coming in here, and every third-party source could differ by maybe 5% to 10% from one source to another. I will always suggest that you add your Google Search Console here. You connect your Google Search Console, and that is going to give you some really good accurate data. So I recommend the first thing, once you add your domain, connect the Google Search Console, and you will see even more accurate data here. In case if you don't have access to your Google Search Console, you can simply use the third-party source that we are providing. So this is one thing that I would like to say before we move forward, that please attach your Google Search Console. Now, moving forward to the next part is analysis of your data. So how will you do that? The main parameters that you need to look into is how many keywords you're ranking for every URL that you have. What is the page rank, and what are the internal link audit that you can do on that particular page? So if you see here, so these are the keywords that you're ranking for every URL. If you click here, it will give you the list of all the keywords that you are ranking for. And along with the data, you can see the average position as well for every keyword that you're ranking for. So you can see the Google ranking, you can see all of the data that you're already ranking for a particular URL. Now, if you click here, it will sort it for you. So if you want to see into descending order and see like which are the pages which are not doing really good, you can simply sort it out from here and see that what is that is not giving you much of traffic at all, and they are just lying there, with nothing value at all. So you can look into all this data and understand that these are the pages that you definitely need to optimize or remove them if they are not needed from your website. And that is something that you need to do regardless. Let's go back to our presentation. Now optimize existing content. So let's say you understood one thing from here, from this data, that these are the pages which are not doing really good, and you can simply start optimizing them. Then what you can do is you can simply click on optimize content here, and outranking will come up with some of the keywords here that you can use to optimize this particular page. You can select the one that goes with your context, matches your context, and you can simply click on, let's say, infant starting daycare. Like, what is the topic here? Steps for talking to daycare about baby-led weaning. All right, so let's say, for example, we take transition to daycare 6 months, and we click on optimize content. Now, this is literally going to create a document for you where it will import all the content from that particular web page. It will analyze it with top 20 ranking pages. It will, do the comparison. It will come up with all the suggestion after auditing that what all you need to change, optimize it further that can help you, to make this page better and SEO friendly. So this is one thing. Meanwhile, this is getting done. Let's go back and let's look into other part of it. Internal link audit. Now, how we can do that here? Let me select the domain. Let's go to internal linking. And now we will be covering the fourth part, that is internal link audit. And you can see here, for every URL that you see here, there are two options here: optimize content and internal link audit. The one thing that you can do is you click on internal link audit. It will take some time, maybe 10 minutes. And once it's done, you will see this updated on August 22nd. You click here, and it is literally going to give you all the suggestions from all the different pages to interlink this particular link with other pages of your website. So if you check here, these are some suggestions that you can look into. So let's say this is one of the link, and this is the passage from the link. Let's see this passage, and yeah, so this is the passage. I'm sorry. Yeah, the one in the orange is the passage, and it is providing you details like keep your little one safe with tips on choking hazards for 3 years old. So it's trying to add this link, choking hazard for babies and toddlers, on your this particular page to interlink it in a better way. So if you check this, let's find out in just a second. Right. So if you can see, the passage has been rewritten, and it is targeting this passage here. And it is going to change it to this one, which adds a link in it. So see, these are all the suggestions that you will see here. There are numerous suggestions that you can use. You need to understand that which suggestion suits in best for you. And on the basis of that, you can, if you're integrated the API key of WordPress and install the plugin on WordPress, you can simply click on publish to WordPress, and this is going to change on your live web page along with the text and internal link, and it gets updated within 10 minutes. So you can do this, and you can add links and interlink your pages in a better way by doing this audit. You can always re-audit this. You can download the suggestions as well if you want to send it to someone or give it to your team and get done things manually. So this is one way of interlink audit that you can do from here. Now let's move forward, and we clicked on one of the page optimized content, which was the page. Here you go. Yeah. So it was 7 steps for talking to daycare about baby-led meaning. As you can see, the entire content has been imported here. And now you can quickly remove the things that are not required for optimization. And then you can start, optimizing it further, right? So let's remove everything from down here. And let's keep everything that you would like to have it for optimization, which is required for this particular topic. And you can see the SEO score currently is 38, target is 58 plus. And these are all the SEO elements that you need to optimize one by one. So you can start optimizing it one by one from here. Click on the title. You are just targeting one keyword with this particular title here. So try to find out some improvement suggestion and add more keywords here. Or you can manually change this as well. Move on to description, only targeting one keyword, try to target more keywords here, and then move forward. You can get improvement suggestions with the use of AI and then simply replace it on one click. So you can use this, or you can use automatic optimization as well to select everything that you want to optimize and start optimizing your entire content step by step for your existing web pages. So this way it is connected with your pages URL here, which you want to optimize quickly one by one, moving forward. So if you, let's say, for example, there is one more important powerful feature here is that you can filter out things very nicely here by entering a value or a URL, and then just click on the arrow and apply, and it will come up with those URLs that you are trying to look into and optimize it. And you can see that you can optimize your content right from here and start, adding more value to your existing web pages. Let's move forward here. So we analyzed our current ranking data, what's wrong, what we need to optimize further. We can check all of that from your interlink page from here, internal links from under strategies. You can check all of that from here. Moving forward, let's go to our next slide. and that is topical authority projects and keyword research. Now we have divided this part into three different subtopics. The first thing first is create a cluster. Now let's look into how we create a cluster. So now, as you understand, we will be creating clusters on this particular sub area that we identified earlier that we need to use to understand what all semantic variations or semantic relation keywords that we can get, along with some information which can help us to start creating content which is easy to rank. Stephen has a question. Is there a way to have it import, optimize it, and then export a format I could use to replace the content on Squarespace site since it doesn't natively update like this does with WordPress? So uh, we do not have a direct integration, but what you can do is it's very simple. Let's say you have edited this piece of content, or let's say you are optimizing, you are not using WordPress, doesn't matter. Once you click on optimize content, it will still fetch all the data and it will come up here. And once you have optimized your content, once you have edited your content again, what you can do is you can simply go on to the last step, that is publish. This is the workflow here. And we were on optimize step, and now we're in the last step, that is publish. And here you can download a doc file and then just use that, or you can click on copy all content, or maybe a clean HTML. Copy all content is literally going to copy everything as it is, whether it's videos, photos, tags, and everything, links, and then you can just paste it if you're using some other editor to publish your content. Right? So let's go back. So we will be creating a cluster based on the sub-core offering area to understand what sort of more opportunity of keywords that we get along for this sub area that we are trying to target. You're welcome, Stephen. All right. So this is one thing. Let's go back here and let's start with our cluster. So now we'll be creating cluster. Now create a cluster with specific focus area, or you can also upload a keyword file from SEMrush or Ahref. So if you're already using SEMrush or Ahref, this is going to be very easy for you, or you can literally use use a topic to create cluster as well. To do that, go on clustering here. And what you can do is you can click on analyze new set of keywords. Enter your focus area here. So the focus area has to be the sub-core offering area that you're trying to target one at a time to understand what all semantic related keywords you can look into and start creating content on. So you are now very much specified with what you're doing and how you're going to move forward, right? Like you have your website, you have divided your website into more core offering areas, and you are picking one core offering area and coming up with the sub-core, and now you're trying to understand what all you can do under the subcore to create content. So that is something very important, that you organize your structure in a way which will help you to put up your content strategy in a better manner. Now enter your focus area, or if you want to have upload a file from SEMrush or Ahref, don't enter anything here. Simply click here and this is going to download a file for you. Just copy paste the data from SEMrush and just upload the file here. And that's it. Don't leave this focus area empty and just click on analyze new cluster. You can always click on advanced settings, and if you want to include certain keywords, you can do that. Or if you want to exclude certain keywords, you can do that as well. So let's say, for example, toddler feeding might come up with something which is irrelevant to this topic, but it's still connected with toddler feeding. So let's say toddler feeding in car. Now that is something that is not going to help this particular business at all because it's not connected in any way. In that case, you can exclude certain keywords that you can find from Ahref or SEMrush and simply add them here. So they will be filtered out and you will get to see more filtered data. But if you leave this as it is, that's okay as well. Nothing to worry. Now, once you create a cluster, it depends how many keywords, opportunity of keywords, total keywords it will come up with. So let's say, for example, if I take a topic like, let's say, feeding toddlers, and I create a new cluster, feeding toddlers, and I click on analyze new cluster, there will be a pop-up here. Now what you need to understand is that this is a pop-up which is very important, and which can actually give you some information on your credits as well. So this says this typical or topical authority project will consume 121 keyword assessment credits out of the total number of credits you have. This is way too much because it's an admin login, but yeah, like, you would be having your keyword assessment keyword credits as per your plan. So just make sure that these keywords are little less than what you actually have in total. So your credits, if you have less credits and you're trying to create a topical authority project which requires more keywords, it is not going to give you results. So just make sure that you have enough credits, topical keyword assessment credits on your account. If in any case, if you don't have it much, what you can do is you can simply go onto account, go to add-ons, and there are one-time plans for keyword assessment credits that on which there is no expiry. So for $79, you can get 10,000 assessment keywords, and these are one-time credits. These are not going to charge every month. You can just add it one time and then use it whenever you want. See, you won't be creating content strategy every day. 1 month you will, 1 month you might not, and another month you will. So there is no expiry on this. You can use them unless and until you don't finish all your 10K credits. So you can buy it one time if you have less credits and then move forward. If you have more credits, you can simply go forward and start creating silos. Now let's go back to mylittleeater.com and let's go to clustering, and let's assume that we created silo, we created a cluster, and these are the clusters that we created. And now you will see that these are the total number of keywords that you are coming up with this particular cluster project. Now the consumption of keyword is also based on this, like it will be around 119 plus one cluster credit for the project that you create, so around 120. And it could be one or two here and there, depends on how good your content opportunity of keywords comes up, and if there could be a discrepancy, there could be a one keyword or two keyword less or maybe more. But yeah, it will be around 120 keywords that you will consume for this particular project. And what outranking does here is that it groups them into semantic related keywords. So you don't have to look into all the keywords one at a time. Rather, you can just look into the groups that really matches your use case. So let's quickly go ahead, and feeding toddler is something that you would like to create content on. You go on to option open here, and you will see all the groups that has come up. There are around 67 groups that you can see here, which have come up for altogether 119 keywords. Now, these are all the keywords that you can see here, all the keyword groups that you can see here. And along with that, it will tell you how moderate or how challenging or how easy it is to target one particular group to write content on and rank. So this is one major help that you will be getting here. So to find out the right group. So let's say, for example, let's say we take a one group from here, and that is, let's take, for example, feeding issued with toddlers. When you click on this group, you will see that these are all the keywords that are semantically related with feeding issued with toddlers. So we are grouping them into one group and giving you all the details which are semantically related. So now let's say, for example, you would like to create content on feeding issues in toddlers. So before we move forward, what you need to understand is how you will select your, right primary keyword and go along moving forward with creating content on it. So one radar that you will see, the measure that you will see is it will tell you whether it's a good probability to rank or not. Some places you will literally see that it is not so good probability to rank as well. So here it's orange, less probability to rank. So it will tell you like whether it's a good probability or not. That is one way of understanding things. Secondly, look into the all in title data. See, for a niche website like this, it might not be possible to come up with all the data, but all in title is something that you need to understand, that whether people are writing on this topic and whether this topic is of core importance or not. So try to find out a keyword which has more relevance with all in title And along with that, look into the core competition for it. So if you see that there are two competitions for this particular keyword, and this is the core competition which is on top 1 and 2 rank, right? So try to find out a keyword which has little less competition, but along with that, it has also some quantity of all in title number, wherein at least people are uh, looking into the content related to this particular topic as the main topic, and then really recognize which keyword you would like to go ahead with, and then click on the primary keyword. So let's say, for example, in this case, we take feeding problems in toddlers. We just have two competition here. All in title has also some volume, and then you can click on primary keyword here. Now, when you click on primary keyword here, outranking is not just targeting this particular keyword, but it is adding all the keywords from the backend for you to target automatically when you create the content on this particular topic. So you are not just targeting this topic, but you are also targeting all the semantic related keywords along with it. And how to do so? So let's say you clicked on the primary keyword here, and this is one topic that you would like to write content on. Now let's move forward, and let's look into some other cluster that we have created earlier. Let's say cooking with toddlers. Open it up. There are 28 keywords and there are 17 groups. And you can see that this one is challenging. Let's click here. And you can see that this one is challenging, less probably rank. And you will see the position here. That means that the website is already ranking for this particular keyword already. So you might not want to create content altogether from scratch. Rather, you would just want to optimize this particular web page that is ranking for this many keywords, and target more and more keywords. Though the core competition is high, but if you're ranking, what you can do is simply, let's say, for example, you want to add cooking with infants and toddlers, and you would like to add as a main topic here. Anyway, it is going to add all the related keywords along with it, so don't worry about it. Let's say you click on primary keyword here, and you are adding this to your content inventory. Same way, let's go on to the next cluster. Let's say toddler fruits for babies. And let's look into here, fruits and vegetables for babies list, dry fruits powder recipe for babies, soft fruits for babies. Let's click on soft fruit for babies. And here is some more information that you can look into and decide. So let's say best fruit for babies is something that has little more volume, as well as the competition is 3, core competition is 3, that is still fine. You can still rank for this, and you can click this as a primary keyword. So we added 3 different keywords from different groups to as a primary keyword. Now what the next step is, let's go back to our presentation, and we selected the right group. Outranking groups the total keywords based on similar intent and semantic relations. So that's what we did, right? Like we literally selected the right groups, and under that what we did is we selected the right primary keyword. Considering volume, all in title and core competition, we selected the right keyword, and you can select multiple primary keyword as well from different groups if you want to target and create content on. Now let's quickly go back and let's look into our next step. That is manage inventory. So now how we are going to manage inventory? We selected 3 different groups. Under that, we selected 3 different primary keywords. Now the first one is optimize existing content. So what you can do is, let's say if you're already ranking for a particular keyword and that you have selected as a primary keyword, you can start optimizing that particular web page which you are already ranking for, right? Why did the feeding toddler group not include the main term feeding toddlers in the article group, but the cooking with toddlers topic group did include cooking with toddlers? Uh, I will have to just look it back. Why did the feeding toddlers group did not include the main term feeding toddlers? Okay, let's go back here. Let's look into the issue that you are saying. Feeding toddlers. Feeding toddlers. Okay, so it depends again, right? Like uh, how many keywords are there under one particular group. So it automatically, assigns all this many keywords and put it up under one group, which is relevant enough as per the related keyword or semantic variation that comes under it. So it's not necessary that you will find the exact main term here. It could be or it could be not. All depends on all the opportunity of keywords that are coming under it. So there is no compulsion or there is no mandatory thing that, if the main silo focus area name is this, then accordingly the group should also have one of the main silo as that particular name. That is not a point wherein you might see sometimes it will come up or sometimes it will not. It all depends on the data of keywords that comes under that particular site. So there is no such parameter that can say that it should definitely come. It can, it might not, but the relevance of the topic should be maintained, and that is very important. Now let's go back. So now when you added different keywords to your content inventory, what you can do is for the keywords that you're already ranking for and still you've added as primary keyword to your content inventory, you can start optimizing your existing web pages and target more keywords and optimize it further. Or rather, what you can do is you can simply create a new document. If you don't want to optimize your existing web page, you just want to create a new document and fresh start and do it as per today's 2024 standards if your content is very old. Or if, let's say, if your keyword is altogether new which you're not ranking for anyway, you can start creating documents for that. So now let's look into content inventory. And we are on content inventory. We got done with internal links, clustering, and now we are on content inventory. And here you will see these three primary keywords that we added, right? So all your projects, all the documents that you want to create or optimize moving forward in coming days and months, you will find them all here under content inventory. And all you need to do is, all your team needs to do is start looking into content inventory one at a time and start creating documents or SEO articles on it straight away from here. So we will be taking 2 documents at a time. And let's say feeding problems in toddler, that is one that we took. And we are not ranking for that keyword anyway. We are ranking on 15 position for this particular keyword. So you can see that here. And if you hover it here, it will also show you the link that you are with the web page that is targeting this keyword. So what we'll be doing is, let's say feeding problems in toddler is one topic that you would like to cover. What you can do is you can simply click on this icon here which says create new SEO document. You click here and this is going to create a new document for you. And then there is an arrow here. If you click here, it will take you directly to that document where you will create everything from scratch. Title, outlines, generating a SEO optimized draft, and then optimizing it further and then publishing the content. But let's say in second case here, cooking with toddler, cooking with infant and toddlers, you are ranking 15th and you would like to optimize your content further. Or you can, if you want to create new content altogether for this topic, you can click here and that will create a document for you. But let's say, for example, you want to optimize your existing web page. This is the sign of link that you will see here. You can click on edit. You can find out this particular URL. You can copy it and then go back to internal links. Use the sorting here. Click on apply. And this is the link that we are talking about, right? And now you can click on optimize content right from here. And this is literally going to import the content from your website. Here you go, where you can start optimizing it one by one by looking into all the SEO elements and then try to optimize things which are in yellow dot and maybe red dot, and then publish your content again or update your content again. I see a question here. For when you get a chance to answer, my team found it difficult to share blogs with one another. Is there any easier way to share your blogs with all team members in one go, or are there plans in making this more accessible? Yes, absolutely. I will show what is available right now, and that's quite pretty easy. But yeah, I have few I see Pelin is raising a hand. Yes, Pelin. Shall I? Yes, Pelin. Please unmute yourself and ask me a question if you have, or you can write into chat. So yeah, we will looking into the sharing options for team members, and we have a couple of feedbacks from our power users as well. So we will be definitely enhancing it in future and giving more, usability on that particular topic. I will show you what we have right now, and that is also quite easy as such. But yeah, we will definitely look into it. Pelin, let me know if you have any questions. I just saw you raise the hand. All right. So meanwhile, let's get started. So as you can see, you can optimize your existing content right from here and then update it again on live. Now let's go back. Let's go to my little eater. Let's go to content inventory. So this is one way of optimizing your existing web page by adding it to content inventory and then finding the URL and optimizing the content. I just showed you how to do that. And now let's say if the topic is feeding problems in toddlers, which is altogether a new topic, and you've added to content inventory. Now you want to like to create a document over it. You clicked it once and that has created the document. Now, when you click it again, it will take you directly to the document that you just created, and it will start giving you all the details one by one that will help you to create the entire document. So this is all that we cover under topical authority, from structuring, breaking down your structure of your website and then expanding into core areas, sub areas, and then finding out the right opportunity of keywords. Moving on to adding your domain and looking into ranking data. Then, creating a topical authority project and, doing the keyword research. And then there is managing inventory and creating all the projects that you want to create in coming days and months. So here we end one topic, one main topic, and that is topical authority. Now we will be moving onwards to EEAT. And here's the first one. All right. So let's get started here. And this is the first topic that we'll be covering under EEAT, tone of writing, drafts and prompts. And before we do that, we will cover up couple of steps which in brief which are coming before we actually go into EEAT of your content. So here is the workflow, and here are the 5 simple steps that we need to follow once we create a document. Right now we're on the title step, and these are some of the titles that Outranking has created for you altogether newly. These are not copy pasted or rewritten from SERPs. It analyzes the top 20 ranking pages and it gives you suggestions on title altogether in new format. Select the one that makes sense to you. And once you select the title, look into the keywords that you need to try and target. So, once you select the title, it will tell you like how many keywords you are ranking for, you are targeting here. Sorry, how many keywords you're targeting here. The target is 1, and then you have currently just 1 keyword here, and there are more keywords you can try and target. But it depends. If it matches your use case, you should add it. Otherwise, you just avoid it, ignore it. Don't forcefully add any keywords onto your title. You can generate more results as well if you want to. But let's say if you want to use this one and if you want to change something which can target more keywords, let's say solving feeding problems in toddlers, know the signs. Now, what is feeding disorders? Now, solving feeding problems, or let's say disorders. I'm just trying to show you something randomly here. And now you see I'm targeting 4 keywords. So this is something that you can do and add some more value and add some keywords if they make sense. Otherwise, just ignore it. And then once you select the title, Outranking will automatically identify what sort of web page you're trying to write here. It says informative blog post on the basis of the title that you've selected. Now, these are all the types of pages that Outranking can write for you, whether it's a local business service page, comparison page, product page, landing page, all sort of pages it can write for you. Now, you can select different page from here if it doesn't match your use case, but Outranking will automatically identify on the basis of your title. And this is very important because when you move on to the next step, that is outline, Outranking will curate some good outlines for you on the basis of your web page type. Now let's look into that. So let's click on outline, and that will take us to the next step in the workflow, that is outline. Now we are on the outline step, and here we will outranking will create some intent driven unique outlines for you using research and keywords. So these outlines are from user intent, user perspective, and these are from 360 perspective as well. So it will give you a lot of ideas like what you can use and what you can remove. So let's look into it quickly. Unraveling the mysteries of toddler feeding problems, decoding common symptoms, when picky eating becomes a serious concern, the roots of resistance, sensory sensitivities affecting mealtime dynamics, psychological and behavioral factors in food rejection, across the infant to toddler, navigating the path to proper diagnosis, tailored strategies for treating toddler feeding disorders, and there are a lot of more issues and histories which are very much in sync with our topic as well. And outranking will always come up with some FAQs as well at the bottom. You can change the sequence by just dragging and dropping it. If you want to, you can get some more ideas by clicking on H3 ideas. You can add your own H3 by adding on add H3. If you want to add your own H2, you can click on add H2 to add your custom H2 as well. Now let's look into the left side of the window here. And these are the keywords that you can target in your outline only. And you're targeting 12. The requirement is 9 minimum. You can add more keywords, target more keywords right here by adding keywords and making a proper sentence out of it if it makes sense. Otherwise, you can ignore it as well. Looking below, you can see that these are the top 20 pages which are already ranking for this keyword. So if you click on expand all, you can see what sort of outlines they are writing for this particular topic. And if you're missing out on something, you can simply click on this icon, and that particular outline will be added to your outline box at the bottom. Now you can rephrase it and make it your own. So this way you're not missing out on anything that your competitors have. So you can do this and get some more ideas on what your computers have, which you have forgotten to add. Moving on to questions tab. These are all the people also ask Spark questions that people are usually searching on Google. So these are the popular questions. Try to add them by just clicking here if they make sense, and then just club them up with FAQs as well if you want to. Now let's quickly go ahead. There is an add URL option as well. So what outranking does is it adds this top 20 pages content as background research to feed AI so that AI can write content in more superior quality along with factual information. So it looks into the top 20 pages only for background research and then writes the content altogether in new format. Now, let's say if you want to add some more URLs which are unfortunately not ranking in top 20, but they still have really good content on it, you can add all of those URLs here. You can add up to 100 and just click on add URL, and all those URLs will be added to background research as well. So this is one thing that you can do and add, make your own custom research. You can also remove a particular domain from top 20 from background research by clicking on this icon, and this is going to remove the entire domain from background research. So you can either way add or remove background research and make a custom research as per your requirement. Now let's remove few of the outlines from here and quickly generate a first draft so that we can move on to our next step. So would it make sense to put a Wikipedia page? No, it will not. So I always remove a Wikipedia page. I always remove Reddit page. They might have a non-factual information, right? Like Wikipedia, I can update, anyone can update Wikipedia, right? Same goes with Reddit, right? Like you should remove it. If you ask me, I always remove Wikipedia pages because it might contain information which is false. So you can remove Wikipedia, and that would be the best practice to do. So let's quickly go ahead and let me remove a couple of more outlines that you can quickly generate a first draft. All right, so we have 20. Requirement is around 7 to 11. So try to be in this range. Don't go way too above that. You can go a little bit overboard. That's fine. You can have up to 15 or maybe a little less than that. But yeah, don't go way too above than 11. Let's say I move you from here and now we have 15. So let's say we are good with 15 and let's move forward. So now our topic here is tone of writing, drafts and prompts. Now how drafts and prompts are going to help us to gain EEAT. If you're in a medical field, would it be good to add medical journal studies or education? Absolutely. But if they are on web page, so it only accept web pages. So if it's on a web page, if it has a URL, simply add it. Whatever quality content you can add, you should add, because that is going to give you some really amazing output. So try to add it, and that is definitely going to help you out. So now we are looking into tone of writing, drafts and prompts, how they are going to help us create content which is unique. So let's look into it quickly. Here we go. So now we will move on to the next step. So draft and prompts. Let's look into prompts first. So if you click on write yourself, that will directly take you to the editor where you will see all your outlines. Now you can start optimize and now you can start creating content step by step for all the outlines that you have by creating writing a prompt. You can add a prompt by adding a greater than sign, and that will enable the prompt. Write an introduction on toddler feeding problems. Answer should not be more than 100 words. The answer should be in the bullet points format. The tone of writing should be, let's say, uh, concerning. So this is just a very small prompt, but I always suggest write a prompt which covers every detail. Doesn't matter if your prompt is 100 words, that's fine, but that is going to generate some content which is really good in nature, and that is going to be a little more specific and creative rather than getting content generated which is of general nature. So one thing about prompts to get into the scenario of creative content, or let's say uh, good content, or little original content, what you can do is you can give your prompt which is very much in detail. Click on run prompt and it will generate content for you right there. So try to write a prompt which is very much specific, which covers every aspect of content that you want to get generated, and that is going to definitely help you out. So this is about prompt, that you can create content step by step for all the outlines that you have using prompts. But let's say we go back to outline, and why would you like to use first draft? Now let's go back quickly to our presentation, and here there is a suggestion from outranking that I would like to tell you is 65% importance I would like to give it to SEO draft, which are aligned with every heading written above. So when you are creating content using draft, it is going to consider every information that is written above right now for all the headings. So it will be very much in sync with what you're writing from the first word to the last word. You will not feel disconnected with every outline. It will be very much in sync. There will be places where it will connect some dots from other headings as well. So SEO draft is something which will have a proper relation with one heading to other, and it will be in sync with all the headings that you have. While the prompts, if you write in detail, it is going to generate some really good content. But again, there might be a disconnect with one heading to another, and you will have to figure it out, and you might have to do some more editing there. So that is something that I would like to talk about, why we would prefer using SEO draft rather than prompts. So let's quickly look into draft here. Let's click on first draft. And now let me show you something very important here. So we have all the important parameters here that you can give command to AI to work accordingly when it generates the content. You can create your style guide as well by mentioning what should be the tone of writing, what should be the voice, how to use verbs, how to write comparison type sections, and create your template and use it every time you want to generate content. But let's say you don't want to create a template, rather you simply want to update few things here. What you can do is you can mention all the details here, which that there is a default information, but you can change it as well. So try to be little unique with your tone, like try to be little specific. Don't use general tone, because tone will give you general content. Try to be little specific. So let's say funny and easy to understand. Right? I'm just trying to put something random here, and you can change all of this as well, right? Like how to write FAQs, how to answer all of the sections. You can change this. You can give your own commands. Does a style guide be able to do something like include right in the style of David Ogilvy? You might have to try it out. I'm not sure, but yeah, you can play around and it might work. So one time I tried uh, a mother with three kids and father. It was about a travel blog, so it was about a destination. I wrote it a mother with in a tone. I write a mother with three kids and a father, and it actually wrote from that perspective. So you never know, it will work for you as well. You need to try it out. Can you use a URL to a specific page or website for the style guide? For example, if I have written a blog myself, then it would copy my title. No, that will not work. So you need to mention it one time only for style guide, and once you do that, you can just use it every time from the drop down here, and then it will use that particular command to generate content. Now we have mentioned everything here for all the parameters. Now just make sure you click on options, and there is a check mark on both of this: generate optimized first draft and generate originality suggestions. Generate optimized first draft is going to generate 60 to 70% optimized draft for you, and generate originality suggestion is what we are talking about right now, which covers EEAT altogether. So I will talk about it once we generate the first draft. Now let's quickly go ahead and generate first draft. And before we do that, we have mentioned all the commands here. Now what outranking does technically is it creates a prompt in the backend, keeping everything in mind. So all the parameters that you mentioned, it creates a big prompt here at the backend, which is being used for all the outlines that you have. So outranking is creating a detailed prompt for you at the back end for every outline. I'm just sharing this with you so that you know that how it works and how it creates content seamlessly. Now let's go ahead and generate first draft. Now this is going to create content for us step by step right in front of us for all the outlines that we have quickly. This might take maybe 5 minutes. Meanwhile, any questions or anything that you have in mind that you would like to talk about, please let me know here. Guys, any question or anything that you have in mind that you would like to talk about, please drop in here. And let me just change the link. What area of style guide would you include writing like a specific person? What area of style of the style guide would you include writing like a specific person? So you can just simply mention it, right? Like a specific person. Uh, you can give an example there, like uh, you know write in a which box do we fill in? Tone of writing, definitely. So if you are trying to write a specific style of writing, you need to add it to tone of writing, and that is the box that you need to use and give a reference, right? Like you can say try to write like and the name. The name, if the name is very much famous, it might actually write it in that manner. Yeah, so that is definitely possible, but you will have to play around a little and see how it goes. So here we go. The content is getting written here, and you can say that it writes in a very organized manner, wherein you will see things are highlighted at the right places, right? So it's writing a lot of information, right? You see that. So if you want to curtail it down, there is an option how to write all other sections when we were on the writing tool step. So you can literally mention there that every section should not exceed, let's say, 150 words, and it will literally write less words for you. So you can use certain things and curtail down your content generation. And everywhere you will see this brackets. Now, this is one important part of EEAT, wherein outranking is suggesting you to try to implement this suggestion wherever it makes sense, like insert. Okay, so let's say also let's look into the content that is getting written here. I have one more question here. Is there a way to do the prompt in some areas, just the introduction, but then use generate first? Yeah, what you can do is you can simply generate the first draft and then just remove for any heading that you would like to generate content using a prompt. So, let's say, for example, I want to generate prompt for this particular part. You remove this content from here and simply write your prompt and run the prompt tab, and it will generate the content for that particular part. So, one more question I see. All right. Yeah. You're welcome. So if you see the way of writing, it's like little funny as well as easy to understand, and it's trying to be little funny wherever it's possible. All right, parents, let's suit up because we are going undercover in your own homes, right? Like it's trying to be little funny. Think of yourself as a domestic Jane Bond and on a mission to scope out the munching mannerism of your tiny tot. First things first, why it's coming up with Jane Bond? Like, this is something very interesting. Jane Bond, because it's taking from a context of a female who is having feeding challenges, right? Like feeding is something which is done by a female. And that's why it's not James Bond, rather it's a Jane Bond. This is fantastic. Now it's generating some more originality suggestion. Meanwhile, let's quickly go ahead and let's see how to stand out in all the articles, all the content which is there about on internet. So as you know that AI is growing day by day, there is no stopping to AI. People are going to use AI and it's going to get advanced day by day. How Google will recognize that which content is really good that needs to be ranked and which content is very generic in nature and which shouldn't be ranked or maybe given a lesser rank. So outranking analyzes your content and provides, so your content means the content that you have just written with the draft, it provides you the tailored suggestions. You then enhance these recommendations with your unique perspective and ideas and ensuring originality and a personal touch in the final content. So let's look into it. Here you go. So these are the brackets. These are one of the suggestions, and then you will see this bullet pointers with more suggestions that you can use. So these are the suggestions that we are talking about, and these are all related to EEAT. So let's look into it quickly. Uh, the topic here is professional evaluation, the role of clinical assessment, right? Incorporate a real life case study with before and after scenario, including quotes from interdisciplinary team members to provide an insight into how professional evaluation can lead to tangible improvements in toddlers' feeding habits. Add infographics that illustrate the typical assessment process by interdisciplinary team to visually guide parents through what to expect during a professional evaluation. Include a short GF that humorously shows why it's humorously because the tone of writing is funny. Shows toddlers' reaction to different foods, emphasizing the challenges parents face that professional evaluation may help solve. Now, if you check the suggestions closely, they are very much inclined with experience, expertise, and trustworthiness. So when you are adding it, so it's not necessary that you implement all the suggestions. Maybe just implement one or maybe two, or don't implement anything if it doesn't matches your context. But yeah, it will match in most of the cases. So try to implement at least one suggestion. And this literally tells you, right? Like incorporate a live case study with before and after scenarios. Include quotes. Add infographic that illustrate the typical assessments process. Now, who can write about certain life case studies and infographic about typical assessment process step by step? Who can all of this, or who can do all of this? A person who has knowledge about this topic, a person who is experienced and expert about this topic can only do certain things, right? So if you are implementing these suggestions, you are literally showing off Google that you are expert and experienced about this topic that you're trying to write. So when you're adding, quotes and feedback and case study, this also shows that you are a trustworthy writer, and that's where you are adding well-known quotes from the people of the same industry. So these are the suggestions that you will see at almost all the histories, and they are very much in sync, and they will be different wherever required. We are updating these suggestions every now and then, so you'll get to see some creative suggestions. But yeah, like this is something very important if you want to add originality to your content, which is going to add more value, and this needs to be done manually. Like you need to give your personal touch and perspective by adding your own thing to the writing. Like remove this and just implement the suggestion. And when you do it all by yourself, that's how you're adding originality and idea and perspective to your content and adding value to it. So try to do this manually all by yourself. Like 80% of the things can be done by AI. Even this can be done by AI, but outranking doesn't want AI to write this for you. In fact, it wants you to do it all by yourself, and that's how you're bringing in originality and expertise to your content. So that's about how you can stand out, and this is literally going to help you out to stand out from others. And now let's look into the originality analysis, like how you are unique with your competitors. So once you generate the content, go to originality, and you will see the entire analysis of the top 20 pages with uniqueness score. So this is the ranking pages with the uniqueness score they have on their page, and you can see the highest is maybe 12%, and the average is 7%. So you need to have at least 7% of originality. And if you are implementing this one suggestion at one h3 as well, and implementing at least one suggestion on all the h3s, your originality uniqueness score is going to go anywhere around 18%, and this is yours if you implement the suggestions. So this is how you can do this and add more originality and uniqueness to your content, which is aligned with EEAT specifically. So these suggestions are specifically designed to give you the touch that shows that you are expert and experienced about the topic. Excuse me. Now, one more thing. Let's say, for example, you're optimizing your existing content. What you can do is you can go to optimize, and if you want to add more originality to it, you can go to originality and you can click on explore. There's just one h3 here, so we might not find more options. But yeah, let me just show you quickly. We are about to get done with the time as well. Just give me a minute and we will be done. So let's say, for example, we open up this one. So if you're optimizing an existing content, you can go into originality and you can click on this regenerate, and it will, on the basis of your current existing content, will regenerate some suggestions for you for EEAT implementation. So if you're optimizing existing content, you can regenerate some suggestion and you can see what to incorporate, what to implement on what particular outline, right? So this is something that you can do. And now let's quickly, so this is the analysis that you can do, like where your competitors stand and where you will be standing once you implement the suggestion. In the optimization part, does outranking also have entities to include and not just keywords? Absolutely. So move on to common terms, and this includes everything, right? Related keywords, entities, like common entities, and semantic variations. All of that will be here. So it requires around 80% altogether, and we have 60%, and you can start optimizing it one by one by adding it, or using AI to add it. Or you can also use automatic optimization to optimize one thing at a time and simply start optimizing it quickly. So you can do that as well. So this is one thing that is important to understand: analysis of your competitors with uniqueness score that they have, and how you can outrank them with your uniqueness score by implementing more and more suggestions, which are important. Lastly, showcase your expertise, prove your experience, and earn trust. By doing and following and implementing these suggestions rigorously all by yourself and not using AI, you are literally going to showcase Google that you're expert, experienced, and trustworthy for the topic that you're writing. So that's about it, guys. Any questions or anything that you have in mind? Let's take a Q&A quickly and we can end this up here. And yeah, I had a question earlier from one of the user about sharing documents. So let's quickly look into this. So when you click on this document here, you can click on the share with team, and you can select a team member and give edit view rights. And that particular person will have access to the document. But let's say if you're a parent login, if you are the main user, admin user, and there are, let's say, 10 team users under you, whatever content they create, you are automatically getting added to that. So when a parent login or admin login logs in, they will have access to all the documents regardless who team member creates what documents, doesn't matter. They will be able to see all the documents. But if a team member needs to give access to a particular document to a team user, they need to share with team from here, or what they can do is they can simply go inside and then they can share it from here as well. And if they want to share it, just the URL, view URL, they can do that as well, or they can share with team or use editable URL as well if they're already a member. So you can use these options from here if you are a team member, if you are the main login and if you want to share it with one of your team member. But if you're a team member and if you want to share it with your admin, you don't have to share it. They will automatically have access to everything that you do as a team member. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Any question, anything? I might be here for one more minute. Let's see if you have questions. Please type it in chat or we can call it a day and a wonderful week. Welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helps you out. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions. You can reach out to me at support@outranking.io. I'm also sharing one of the important link to our resources where there are a lot of videos. You can use that as well. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.